Hello friends, today we will be doing Singapore Math Challenge Grade 6 2023 contest paper. So the video would be in two parts. In this part, we will be doing from question number 1 to question 16, and in the next video, we will be doing from question 17 till question 32. So there are 32 questions for this paper. So here we are going to be doing question 1 to question 16. These are the instructions. Let's read the first question. The figure shows the net of a cuboid with a square base of 81 centimeters square. Find the volume of the cuboid. Now, volume of a cuboid, the formula is length into breadth into height, or it also says area of the base into height. Now, in this case, they're saying it's a square base. So this is 81. So each side is 9. So if this is 9, this is also 9, and this is also 9. And if you see this, so this is 9 and this is 22. So this becomes 13. So volume would be 9 times 9 into 13, because area of the base is, you could take 9 times 9, or you could just take 81. That also works. So you do 81 times 13, which will be 1053 centimeter cube. So the answer for this question is, what is the volume? The volume is 1053 centimeter cube. So this is the main thing. You need to know the formula, and then this question can be done. So let's go to the second question. The graph below shows the achievement levels of a game by a group of students. Each student gets 1 point for beginner level, 3 points at the intermediate level, and 5 points at expert level. The student achieve a total score of 224. How many students are there at the intermediate level? So this is the graph. So this is for number of students, but the information that is given, let me just, because it's not fitting into the screen. Okay, so they're saying each student gets 1 point at beginner level, 1 point at intermediate level, it is 3 points, and at expert level, it is 5 points. So let's just start. Now you can't, so assuming each of this is, say, x, so this will be again x, x, x. So how many intervals do we see? So we can say x, x. So you can just count that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this is 7 units. Like you can take each unit to be x. So this is 7 units. This will be 8 units. And this is 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is 5 units. But you can't say that 7x plus 8x plus 5x equals to 224. This is wrong, because this is number of students, but the score, this is your score. 224 is the score. So what we have to do is, we have to multiply. So beginner, there were 7x students. Intermediate, there were 8x students. And there were 5x students. So total points will be 24x and 25x. So that's 49. So this is 56x. So 56x, these are the number of points, which is equal to 224. Therefore, x equals to 224 over 56. Therefore, x equals, this is 6, this is 4. So if you do 56 times 4, you get 224. So x is equal to 4. Now, this is not my answer. What is the question saying? That how many students are at the intermediate level? So the number of students are 8x. So you do 8 times 4, which is 32. So the final answer is 32. These many students at the intermediate level. You can actually cross-check your answer. Like, so the number of students, 7x. So that is 7 into 4, 28. This is 32, and this is 20. Correct. So if you see 28 into beginner, that is 28 points. 32 into 3, which is 6, so 96 points. And expert is 20 and expert is 5, so that is 100 points. If you add it up, so that's 2. So 224 points. So it's, you can actually check your answer. So this is tallying. So that means my answer is correct. So the answer for question number 2 is 32. Let's go to question number 3. Question number 3 says 3/4 kg of flour is needed to make 30 brownies. So what you can do is, let's just finish reading. Sally baked a tray of 24 brownies. There were 24 brownies on each tray. How many trays of 24 brownies could Sally bake at most with 4 kg of flour? So we take, because it's saying 1 kg, 3/4 of a kg is 750 grams. So 750 grams is required to bake 30 brownies. Now they're saying how many trays of 24 brownies could Sally make with at most, means a maximum of 4 kg of flour. So 4 kg we can convert into 4000 grams. So 750 grams for 30 brownies. So in 4000 grams, how many brownies can we make? So you do 4000 into 30 divided by 750. 0 gets cancelled. 1s are 25s are 25 ones are, so 150. So it's 160 brownies. So you can make 160 brownies, but they're not asking for number of brownies. They're asking how many trays of 24 brownies can you make. So you divide 160 by 24. So let's just simplify by 4. So that becomes 40 and 6. So this is 1. So you have 6.40. So 6.66. Now in this case, so what is the question? How many trays of 24 brownies? So you can make 6 trays of 24 brownies. This is the decimal part, as in, so this will come to some 14 brownies. So 14 brownies is left in the 7th tray, which is yet to be completed. So this is an incomplete tray. So they're saying how many trays of 24 brownies? So you have 6 trays of 24 brownies that can be made. So let's go to question number 4. Question number 4. In the figure below, EFGH is a rhombus. So what do we mean by rhombus? Rhombus means a shape. It's a 2-dimensional shape with all sides equal. And also it's a parallelogram. Like, so a rhombus is also a parallelogram, means opposite sides are parallel and all sides are equal. Now they've given GHJ is 26 degree and JK is an equilateral triangle. So you have to find HLK. We have to find this angle. Now, basis the information that's given, if it's an equilateral triangle, so all angles are 60 degrees. So this angle is 60 degree. This angle is 60 degrees. So if you see, sorry, this is like until here it's 60 degree. This is the triangle. So this is 60 degree and this is 26 degree. So this whole angle becomes 60 plus 26, which is 86 degrees. So now since this is also a parallelogram, in case of a parallelogram, opposite sides are equal. So angle F, this whole angle F is 86 degrees. Now, this is a diagonal. HF is the diagonal. Now, for a rhombus, it also says, the property also says that the diagonals will bisect the angles at the vertex. So bisect means if this is 86, this becomes 43, this becomes 43. Same thing here, this whole angle is 86. So we can just say that this is 43, say this is 17 and this is 26. So we are only concerned with this triangle. We are concerned with triangle HLK, this one, right? So out of this triangle, in triangle HLK, we have found that angle K is 60 degree, which is as part of the equilateral triangle. Angle H is 43 degree, which we have just found. Now we just need to find angle L, which will be 180 degree minus 60 minus 43, which is your angle sum property. Angle sum property says that all the angles in a triangle, interior angles of a triangle, add up to 180 degree. So this becomes 120 minus 73. So that is 77 degrees. So what is the answer for angle HLK? It is 77 degrees. Let's move on. Question number 5. An ant traveled at 75 centimeter per minute for 2 minutes. A centipede traveled at 40 centimeter per second. Always check the units of measurement whenever you're doing these kind of questions. So a centipede traveled at 40 centimeter per second for 1 minute. What is the difference in the distance traveled by the two animals? So what is the distance covered by the ant? Ant covered 75 centimeters. So this is the speed. So basically, you can just calculate distance is equal to speed into time. So in this case, this is the speed into time. So basically 150 centimeters. And in case of centipede, the distance is, so speed into time. So speed is 40 centimeter per second. So since this is into second, you will convert this also into seconds. So 1 minute is 60 seconds. So you get 2400 centimeter. This is the amount that they would cover in 60 seconds or 1 minute. Now they're saying what is the difference in the distance traveled? So the difference is 2400 minus 150. So you get 2250 centimeters. So the answer for question number 5 is 2250 centimeters. I hope you get this. Let's go on to the next question, which is question number 6. Naveen had a roll of ribbon. He used half of the roll of ribbon to cut into 12 centimeter strips. With the other half of the roll of ribbon, he cut them into 9 centimeter strips. After using up the roll of ribbon, he had 8 more strips of ribbons of length 9 centimeter each, then of length 12 centimeter each. How many strips of ribbons of 12 centimeter length did he have? So assuming how many length of 12 centimeters, so assuming he had X number of strips of 12 centimeter. So how many he'll have for 9 centimeter? It'll be X plus 8, right? Number of strips. Now what are they saying? Half of the ribbon was cut into 12 centimeters. So the length of this one would be 12x. And the length of this one will be 9x plus 8, right? This is the length of half of the ribbon. This is the length of the other half of the ribbon. So since they are equal halves, this will be my equation, right? So let's just solve this. 9x plus 72. So 12x minus 9x equals to 72. Therefore, 3x equals to 72. Therefore, x equals to 24. So x equals to 24. So how many strips of ribbons were there? Of 12 centimeter, 24. So the answer is 24. In case you want to check, like we can check our answers. So the one half of the ribbon was 12 into x, which is 12 into 24, which is 288. And the other half, which was 9 into x plus 8, which was 24 plus 8, which is 32. So we do 9 times 32. So 9 twos are 18, 1 carry. So 288. So this is the half and this is the other half. They are matching. So that means our answer is correct. Okay, in the exam, if you get time, do check your answer so that you can be absolutely sure, whether your answers are correct or not. So question number 6, answer is 24. Question number 7, a group of students sat for a test. Their total score was 2252. The average of the highest score and the lowest score was 55. The average score for the remaining students was 63. How many students sat for the test? So what do we mean by average? Here, average we mean mean. Mean is sum of all observations over number of observations. Okay, now they have given us two averages, right? So the average of the highest and the lowest score was 55. So this was the average, and so there was some sum. Average of the highest and the lowest was 55. So the sum of the highest and the lowest was 110, right? Now for the remaining students, so for the remaining students, now what is the sum? Remaining students 2252 minus 110. So that is 2412. So this is 2142. So what is the average here? This is 63. This is the sum and this is the number of students. So assuming the number of students here was x. So this is x. So what is x? 2142 over 63. Let's just do that. Here calculators are allowed. So please feel free to use these. Don't waste your time doing these calculations. Just do it on the calculator. So this is 34. But the answer here is not 34. because 34 is these number of students and there were two more students here. So the total number of students is 36. So the answer for 7 is 36. Question number 8. Jackson is a delivery man. He had to deliver 120 parcels from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. on a particular day. For every 10 parcels delivered, Jackson earned 30 bonus points. The line graph shows the number of parcels left undelivered by 5 p.m. How many bonus points did he earn by 3 p.m.? So we don't have to go till 5 p.m. We have to see here 3 p.m. So total number of parcels undelivered. So basically you started off with 120. So total parcels to be delivered was, one second, let me just write this. So total parcels to be delivered is 120. How many were unsold? Now, if you see 1, 2, 3, 4. So how do we find each of these intervals? So you do 40 minus 20 divided by 4 intervals. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 20 over 4, which is 5. So each of these intervals is 5. So this is 25, 30, 35. So there were 35 parcels which were still unsold. So just one second. So out of 120, 35 were unsold. So how many were sold? 85 were sold. Okay. Now for every 10 parcels delivered, so you can break it up 80 and 5. So every 10 parcels delivered, so that is 8, he got 30 points. So 8 times 30, which is 240. So how many bonus points did he get? He got 240 bonus points. So the answer is 240. Let's go to question number 9. A table with 4 columns is filled with numbers in a certain pattern. The first 6 rows of the table are shown below. In which row will number 89 appear? Now, if you see here, if you try to make sense of this, see, this is 1, 2, so this is 3. But here you're not writing 5. You're writing 5 here. Okay, then you're not writing 7 here. You're writing, so you're leaving 2 boxes. And then here you just left 1 box. And then you're leaving 2 here. Then again 1 and then 2, like that. But, so it becomes little... so the logic becomes a little shaky that how many boxes do we leave. But if you see here, in every row, there are only 2 numbers. You take any row, there are always 2 numbers. So basically, if you talk about 89, we divide it by 2. So we get 44.5. So what does that mean? That until row 44, you'll have numbers 87 and 88. And in row 45, you'll have 89. So the placement of the numbers doesn't matter. It could be here, here, or here. Doesn't matter. As long as in what row they are, that needs to be seen. So in row 45, you'll have 89 and one more number. Or say you'll have 89 and 90. So the question is saying, in which row 89 will appear? So 89 will appear in row number 45. That will be the answer. Let's move on to question number 10. The table shows the charges for City Life taxi for the first kilometer, for every additional 400 meter or less, and for every 30 seconds of waiting or less. Karen took a City Life taxi from the shopping mall to her home. The taxi stopped once at a traffic light for 45 seconds, and she paid $8.2 for the taxi ride. What was the furthest distance she could have traveled? Give your answer in meters. Now, so we need to find the breakup of this fare, right? So it is $8.20. Now, so for the first kilometer, you are charged 3.60. So we are assuming that she's traveled more than 1 kilometer because the amount is more. So for the first kilometer is 3.60. And then there has been a waiting time of 45 seconds, right? So 45 seconds. So what is the question saying? There are 30 seconds of waiting. For every 30 seconds of waiting or less, it is $0.26. So even for 45 seconds, so he could have waited for 45 or maximum 60 or 55 seconds. So anything above, say, between 31 to 60 waiting time, you would still be charged 0.26. So even if this was just 31 seconds, you would still be charged for the whole 30-second bracket, right? So So for the waiting time, she was charged 0.52. So now out of 8.2, we have the breakup of the waiting time and the first kilometer. So let's just subtract. Uh, let's just do this. So 3.60, so I get 0, 6. 4.60 minus 0.52, which is 8, 0, 4.08. Now 4.08 was actually charged for these many kilometers or meters. So we do 4.08 divided by 400 because it was charged for every 400 meters. So let's just do 4.08 divided by, no, sorry. So we do, yeah, okay. So we go back to this. So for every 400 meter or less, you're charged $0.24. So how many meters was traveled if you're charged $4.08? So this will be equal to 4.08 into 400 divided by 0.24. Again, as I said, use a calculator. So you will get 6,800 meters. This is meters because this is meters. Now 6,800 is not the answer. The answer is because we have not added this kilometer. So you add one more kilometer, which is 1,000 meter. So the answer is 7,800 meters. So the final answer for question 10 is 7,800 meters. Question number 11, read the questions carefully. For questions 11 to 20, write your answers in the blank provided. The use of calculator is allowed. The pie chart and the bar graph shows the number of students who went to 4 different places for their learning journey. Each student only went for one learning journey. The bar that shows the number of students who went to the Discovery Center has not been drawn. What percentage of the students went to the Discovery Center? Now, what information is given? I have been given a pie chart and a bar graph, and in the bar graph, the number of students are mentioned, right? And here, one information, either you measure these angles with a protractor or we can use this. This is 90 degree. So basically this is 90 degree over 360 degree because it is one whole circle is 360 degree. So National Museum is 1/4 of the total, right? Now in this case, National Museum is 100 students, right? So 1/4 of the total is 100 students. So total students will be 100 into 4, which is 400 students. So we know that the total number of students here are 400 students. Now, if you see this is 130, this is 130, this is 100. We need to find this. So so the information given to us is for 260 plus 100. 260 is 130 plus 130. Plus for the Discovery Center is equal to 400. Correct? So this is 360 plus the Discovery Center, which is 400. So how many students were there at the Discovery Center? 40 students. So actually it is here. So how many students were there at the Discovery Center? 40. But that's not the answer. The answer is what percentage of the students went for Discovery. So 40 students out of 400 went for Discovery. So this is 40, 10, and so 10% of the students went for the Discovery Center. So don't get fooled by that this has to be till the top. So the number of students are 40 here, right? Question number 11, the answer is 10%. Question number 12, Peter had a toy car fixed on a straight track. He pushed the toy car from one end of the track to the other end of the track. Each wheel made 30 revolutions. The length of the toy car is 26 centimeters and the radius of each wheel is 2.5 centimeter. What is the length of the track? Now, one revolution. So what does this mean? Like one revolution is actually like once a tire completes one revolution, it is the distance traveled by the wheel. So which is like circumference of the wheel is the distance traveled in one revolution. Correct. So now let's just see because they've said that the wheel had made 30 revolutions. So how much distance will it travel? So 2 into 3.14, radius is given to be 2.5 and it has made 30 revolutions. So what is the distance traveled? This is 2.5 into 2, which is 5. 5 into 30, which is 150. We do 150 into 3.14. So which is 471 centimeters. So basically the distance from here to here. Okay. Like if you see this, so from here to here is 471, but this distance has not been calculated. Like if it starts rolling, this is the distance which has not been calculated. That is the length of the car because the car was already standing. If the car was here, then if you start rolling, then it was 471, but the car was already here. So this distance has not been calculated. So you calculate 26. So you get 497 meter. So a centimeter. So what is the length of the track? The length of the track is 497 centimeter. Question number 13. Andrew has three rods. He tied rod A and rod B together as shown in the figure below. When rod A and B are tied together, they had the same length as rod C. The ratio of A to B was 9.9 is to 4. Now, if you see rod A is still here, right? This is the longer one and B is the shorter one. Correct. Now, what is common here is x and x. We don't know the length of this, but the relationship is given. So, can I say length of A and B? So, what is length of A? 100 plus x. What is length of B? 35 plus x. And what is the ratio? 9 is to 4. Now, we just need to solve this. So, this goes here, this goes here. So, you get 4 into 100 plus x, which is equal to 9 over 35 plus x. So, this is 400 plus 4x, which is equal to 45, 4 carry. So 315 plus 9x. So this goes here and this goes here. So you have 400 minus 315 and 9x minus 4x. So you get 85 is equal to 5x or x equals to 85 over 5, which is 17. So now again, this is not the answer. This is 17. Now what is the length of rod C? So rod C is like if you calculate till here, this is 100. If you calculate, this is 35 and this is the missing which we have found to be 17. So what is the length of rod C? 100 plus 17 plus 35. So 7 plus 5, 2. So it is 152 centimeters. So the answer here is 152 centimeters. Question number 14. The figure below shows two stacks of identical glasses. The height of the first stack of 8 glasses is 54 and this is 39. The height of the space in the shelf is 90 centimeter. What is the maximum number of glasses that she can put on a single stack to be placed on the shelf? So in order to find out, so suppose this is your shelf, how many glasses can you fit in? So whenever you put the first glass, like whenever you put the first glass, you will put it like this and then you'll stack on top of each other. So how many can you stack? For that, we need to know the length of this and the length of the smaller one. So how do we do that? Now, assuming this is x, x, this is x, 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 and x, and say this is y, this is y, so this is y, this is y, this is x, x, and x. Okay, now if you see what is common, or you can just make an equation 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So basically 6x plus 2y is equal to 54. And this is again 3x plus 2y is equal to 36. Okay, so what does that mean if you subtract? This and this gets cancelled. Therefore, 3x equals to 8, 18. Therefore, oh, sorry, this is 39. That's okay. So this is 15, x equals to 5. This is one way to do it. If you don't understand this simple, what you can do is whatever is common between them, you just cancel. This is common, cancel. 1, 2, 3. So you cancel 1, 2, 3. So what is remaining is 3x. And what is the difference here? 54 minus 39. So 3x equals to 15, therefore x equals to 5. So if you can do that, that also works. So what do we get from here? That each of this stack is 5, 5, 5. Correct. So can we find these two? So this is 15. So can I say 39 minus 15 is 24 and these are 2. So this is 12 and 12. Correct. So we have found the length of these. Now coming back to the question, they're saying there's a shelf of 90 centimeter, and how many number of glasses can you place? So the first glass that you place, you can place it like this, upward or downward, doesn't matter. So this is the first glass for 12, right? So how many more can we stack? So we do 90 minus 12, which is 78. So 78 centimeters left for stacking the other glasses. Now each length of the other glasses is 5. So that will be 5 and the 5, 28. So 50, right? And so 3 centimeter would still be left over because it will not fit in. The glass will not fit in. So you have 15. But 15 is not my answer because we have not counted this one glass. Okay, so the maximum number of glasses that you can put on the shelf is 16. So the answer is 16. Question number 15. The table below shows the number of cakes sold at a bakery for a week. 82 cakes were sold on Saturday and Sunday. Find the total number of cakes sold from Monday to Sunday. Now, this is a very simple equation. They are saying n plus 50 plus 3n minus 16 is equal to 82 because total number of cakes sold were 82. So add it up, you get 49, 4n plus 34 is equal to 82. Therefore, 4n is equal to 82 minus 34. Therefore, 4n is equal to, so that's 8, 7. So 48. Therefore, n is equal to 48 over 4, which is 12. So n is equal to 12. So what does that mean? So this already we know is 82. If we substitute the value of n as 12, so you get 72 plus 5, which is 77. Add it up. So the total number of cakes which are sold from Monday to Sunday is 159. Okay, then we go on to the last question for this one. Robot A can clean a hall in 6 hours. Robot B can clean the same halls in 3 hours. The two robots are used to clean the hall together. How many minutes would they take to clean the whole hall? Now, this is a very specific question and there's a very specific technique to do it. What you can do is you just assume the total work to be done. You can take any measurement of, any multiple of 6 and 3. So you can assume that the total work to be done is, say, 6 units. Okay, so how much time does robot A takes? So if it is 6 units work to be done and he takes 6 hours, okay, so the speed is 1 unit in 1 hour. Okay, then for robot B, because the work remains the same, 6 units he does in 3 hours. So what is the speed? 2 unit in 1 hour. That's their speed. Okay, now if both of them are used together, so what is the total speed? The total speed is 3 units in 1 hour. Okay, so how many minutes would they take? So the total work is 6 units and their total speed is 3 units per hour. Okay, so they're going to take 2 hours, but the answer is not in hours. They are asking in how many minutes. Please read the question for the unit of measurement. So it'll be 120 minutes, which is 60 minutes into 2 hours. So that's 120. So the answer is 120. So the rest of the questions we'll do it in a separate video. In case you want this question paper, you can email me at chokhanipreeti@gmail.com. So you can, if you want the question paper or if you want any question to be solved by me, please do leave an email. And thank you for watching.